listening to Combat Sports UK.
Combat Sports UK.
Hello and welcome back to the Combat Sports UK YouTube channel. This is our series called Bonus Predictions, where we look at every UFC card and we give our pick for fight of the night and performance of the night and who's going to get them sweet 50k bonuses. I am joined today by Mr. Dan Evans, who's going to kick us off with the fight of the night bonus for the Imavov and Israel Adesanya fight night happening in Saudi Arabia. Dan, who's your fight of the night pick?
Well, I think there's one fight I keep looking through the card and it's jumping off the page at me, and it's those bantamweights. It's Sergei Magomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. I think those two are really going to throw down. I think that's going to be your real fire starter on that main card. And like I said, perfect time for us UK fans. So I think that's well worth getting your teeth into, either down the pub or, you know, with your takeaway on a Saturday night. So I think that's definitely going to be the one to watch. Vinicius Oliveira is a real showman. I think we saw that at the start of last year when he made that debut with his spectacular flying knee finish of Sopaj. You know, he really brings the Brazilian flair when it comes into the octagon. So I think Vinicius Oliveira he's going to become a fan favorite this year. I really do believe that. So I think Vinicius Oliveira is coming to this with such a great bit of momentum. For Nassourdine Imavov, like, it's a fight he needs to prove himself in, to be honest, because he's been here for quite some time, but he's never really broken in and proved himself. That performance we thought over Muin Gafurov, that's a first round submission guillotine. That was an excellent performance. We looked for him to push on, but those cancellations last year really have stagnated him, and I think it's a place here now where he's at the opportunity where Oliveira can snatch that and he can really run with it. If Oliveira gets an Magomedov on that record, you know what his call-out's going to be. It's going to be Umar. You know, it's a real opportunity for Oliveira, which I think is going to cause an absolutely chaotic fight. Real great grappling, obviously, from the side of Magomedov. The striking from Oliveira is excellent. And like I said, Brazil versus Dagestan, it always throws up these excellent fights. So I think this is another one to add to the list. So this is my pick for fight of the night here.
And a good pick it is. Dan also went for this for his sleeper fight pick, so he has balls deep, as they would say, and then Vinicius Oliveira and Nurmagomedov. But for good reason. It is going to be one of the standout fights on this card for sure. I was looking and I was tempted to go with a heavyweight fight, Rozenstruik and Pavlovich, but it's not going to last that long, is it? Let's face it, it's going to be done within one round. That round will be exciting, but it's not going to last long enough to be fight of the night. So my fight of the night is Magomed Sharabullet taking on UK's own Michael Venom Page, MVP. This is going to be an all-out striking affair, I hope. It could turn into a grappling match, which does happen quite often when two elite strikers come at it. But these are two of the most exciting strikers in the weight division. MVP, obviously, coming off that loss to Ian Gary. Before that, in his UFC debut, he got a win against Kevin Holland. So he's really looking for that highlight reel moment that we haven't seen from him yet in the UFC. MVP's highlight reel is like, they call Justin Gaethje the highlight reel. They could call MVP the highlight reel as well, because some of his knockouts in Bellator and other organisations are unbelievably impressive, unbelievably slick and fun. He brings that sort of whole entertainment side to fighting as well. He's taking on the one-eyed pirate, Sharabullet. We talk about him all the time. He is like a movie villain coming in there and looking dangerous as anything. It's a card in the Middle East. He's becoming such a staple in these cards. Last time out, he got what I don't know if it did get KO of the year. I don't think it did, but
no, it's close.
And yeah, it was like a double spinning back fist. They've been named it the Sharabullet fist. They've given it its own name. It's been named after him. That was an incredibly impressive knockout as well. And for Sharabullet, he kind of needed that knockout too, because his few fights before that were a bit underwhelming. But in that last fight, he just showed that he is at the level of the UFC and he is worth the hype. So an all-out striking matchup. I hope none of them shoots for a takedown in this fight. MVP and Sharabullet, they both came out and said that they're not going to, but sometimes they don't stick to their word whenever they're in there and they're feeling the effect of the opponent's punches. So I went for that for my fight tonight. I think it's the most obvious one. You know, you've got two sexy strikers in MVP and Charlotte, so that's going to be an interesting one for sure. Moving on to your performance of the night pick, then, Dan.
Well, for performance of the night, I mean, you look at a card with Israel Adesanya on and you're immediately going to go Israel Adesanya, because this guy, I've said for countless years now, he's one of the best showmen the UFC have ever had. He's one of the best characters the UFC have ever had. But I've not picked Israel Adesanya because everyone's going to pick Israel Adesanya. He probably will get a performance bonus, but I'm going a bit low key, a bit lower down. We go to Fareziam. Now, this Frenchman here is a great underdog pick. I tell you that now, because right now he is an underdog against Mike Davis. Now, I don't understand why, because Fareziam, like Vinicius Oliveira, like Shara Magomedov, got almost one of the best KOs last year. Like I said, that knockout in Paris in an absolutely electric arena against Matt Favola, who's a known knockout artist, and that knee. I mean, the flexibility on that knee in the clinch is
ridiculous.
Honestly, it's like something you've never seen before, and it was the way that Favola just stiffened immediately.
It was
brutal. It was really, really one of those great knockouts. And Fareziam, he's coming into this not just off the back of one of the best knockouts of his career, on a 4-fight win streak. Now, that's a 4-fight win streak over the likes of Jai Herbert, the likes of, I think Figlax is in there as well. Like I said, you've got some good quality fighters, and he's fighting Mike Davis. Now, Mike Davis, I believe, has had a quite close fight with Mason Jones in the past, who's a UK-based fighter out of Wales. Now, Mike Davis is also on a 2-fight win streak, but I think for Ziam, a big KO here, he's looking at lightweight rankings. He's looking at like someone like Bobby Green next, or someone like a real big scalp name. And Diego Ferreira, who just fought last weekend. He didn't take too much damage in that fight against Grant Dawes. So by all means, call him out. Like I said, this is a real opportunity for Ziam to get real close to those rankings. This is opportunity. I think he's going to take it with both hands. I think he gets a brilliant knockout this weekend and picks up performance of the night.
This is a big night for the Frenchman, and as you say, if he does pick up at one just outside the rankings, Mike Davis is a good opponent too. He's a very good opponent. This year is maybe not actually a bad shout for fight tonight too, because
exactly, yeah.
Mike Davis will put up a really good fight for Israel. A big statement win for him, as you say. He's just outside the rankings. That's a very good pick. You've gone deep into the undercard, or deep into the prelims for that one. I like that pick. Again, I looked at Adesanya. I do think this is going to be the bounce back of Israel Adesanya, but I'm not going to go for him. I went for Ikram Aliskerov. I spoke about it in my sleeper fight video as well. Aliskerov is coming off a loss to Robert Whittaker, a fight he took at short notice. It was only his 3rd fight in the UFC, and this is his return. And I was very, very impressed with him coming up through the rankings in that middleweight division. I was very, very impressed with him. He's only had 2 defeats in his career. He had the one with Chimaev and Brave, which is pretty well documented, because everyone wants that fight to happen again, or they did want that fight to happen again in the UFC. Chimaev was meant to be fighting Robert Whittaker at the last Saudi Arabia card, and he has to pull out, of course, due to the illness. Aliskerov steps up. He does get finished in the first round, but I think it was a bit. I think he was maybe a bit starstruck in that moment. Not to take anything away, but that was such a step up in class. His first time main eventing in the UFC, and there was a lot of things going on for Aliskerov going into that fight week and going into that fight. And I think he's going to bounce back in style here. His opponent, Andre Muniz, will put up a good fight. He's quite durable, but he's also coming off a win. The first one, he got beat by Brendan Allen, beat by Paul Craig, and then he beats John Young Park, which was a good win, a split decision win. But I just don't think he's going to be good enough for Aliskerov, and I think he's the perfect opponent for Aliskerov to put in a performance of the night performance in against. I think he's going to get the finish in it, but we're in for a real interesting one. That is our bonus predictions for UFC Fight Night. Adesanya versus Imavov in Saudi Arabia. As Dan said, UK time, guys, for all of our UK and European fans. What more do you want? It's on at a good time. There's no reason not to be tuning in and enjoying this full card, because there is some other good fights on it as well. It's a fight night and it's completely stacked, as Saudi Arabia fight nights usually are. So thank you very much for tuning in to this video, and we will see you in the next one.